Boris Johnson, for him and for the Tory right, Brexit was always about a reckless drive to accelerate the race to the bottom, to undermine standards in terms of workers' rights, in terms of the environment, and no doubt to further enhance the role of the City of London as a centre for financial speculation, and to emulate, indeed, this country in terms of trying to develop a tax haven model which would reduce corporate tax obligations on multinationals in order to encourage multinational investment into the United States, or into the United Kingdom, to whip up anti-immigration sentiment and tighten up essentially racist immigration laws in the UK. And in pursuit of that ultra neoliberal, right-wing, race to the bottom agenda, Boris Johnson was reckless and willing to run the possibility of a no-deal Brexit, and indeed the possibility of an erection of a hard border, which would have been a disaster for this country. And indeed, Europe, in my opinion, was also very, very concerned about protecting the single market. And so insofar as the protocol guarantees no hard border, and the agreement guarantees no hard border, it is very much to be welcomed. Now, I've no doubt many officials and so on worked very, very hard on the details of this arrangement at many levels, but I think ultimately the greatest credit has to go to the majority of people, north and south, in this country, who utterly reject the Boris Johnson ultra-neoliberal, right-wing, reckless and racist, frankly, agenda, and equally opposed any notion that there should be a border erected north and south. And I think that pressure from ordinary people, where I think the majority, both in the north and the south, recognised that a border would be an absolute disaster, I think it was that pressure that guaranteed that we got that protocol. So that is very, very much to be welcomed, and indeed I would go further and say that it opens up the possibility, which we should pursue and pursue actively, of trying to get rid of the border altogether. Because the logic, both around COVID and around the possible consequences of a hard border, if there had been a no-deal Brexit, opens up the real possibility of ending the disaster of partition, and we should pursue actively a border poll to bring about that end to partition. It should be one of the key lessons we take out of all of this. But having said all that, we have to be absolutely clear. The Scottish Parliament voted against this deal. Stormont voted against this deal. The left in Britain voted against this deal because, apart from the protocol and guaranteeing no hard border, it's a terrible deal. It's a terrible deal for the fishing communities. And of course, that's not just the recklessness of Boris Johnson, but it's also the historic mistreatment of the fishing industry and fishing communities in this country at the hands of the European Union. It is a terrible deal in terms of, wanting to hold on to prohibitions on certain types of state aid. Okay? State aid in Europe and indeed in the UK, it's fine for the banks. The banks can gamble, they can wreck the economy, and we can have state aid for them. Try having state aid for public enterprise or public infrastructure or services, which ordinary people need, and Europe is screaming foul, as are the Johnsonites and the ultra neoliberals. Or what about the Mercosur deal? the EU poses a protection against race-to-the-bottom deals and then signs up to a rotten Mercosur deal that will flood Europe with cheap beef, damage the interests of small farmers and do immense damage to the environment. So, yes, it's good that we're not going to have a hard border. That's been achieved, but let's not paint this deal in overly rosy colours.